Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So we've got another tactical debrief today. The mission was our most recent mission, which was we were doing a long deep airstrike to take out some tanks. Just very briefly, we take off from this base here. We've got a whole net of SA-11 SAMs that we have to punch through, and then we have to kill an SA-6 over here and then kill a bunch of tanks over here. Now, I'm really super short of time today because of reasons, so we're just going to run it through and literally look at the few aerial engagements and anything else important and go fast, so stand by. Right, just to give you a reminder of the groups that we have. We have going up first, the MiG-21s, they were Dagger, they were an escort group. Then going up we have some F5s and Harriers. These are Sabre, that is a second escort group. Then we have the tank attacking group, which is the 5 A10s or Buick. And then back here, these guys take off later. These are the Vigans, they are the guys to take out the SA-6. They are Hammer. Right, let's see what happens. So they basically, the Blues all run along their vector, and at some point they're going to get intercepted. Stand by. So the Reds were computer controlled this time, and their job was, or their tactic was, rather than coming in one big wave, it was to send lots of little waves of fighters and just wear us down and just use attrition. Bearing in mind this is like nearly 200 miles that we had to travel, and that's their plan of taking down our mission. And they did pretty well, but let's carry on anyway. So I can see lots of cocking about here, and we had a new GCI, who's the guy who controls everyone, and he's not used to working with us, so we had a lot of miscommunication problems. Completely normal, no one to blame, it's just, you know, that's how it happens when you start. So we had all these groups basically going the wrong way. These guys were going the wrong way, these guys were going the wrong way, these guys were going the right way. So we'll sort those communication problems out tonight with another game, but let's just carry on. So eventually we will get onto Vector. Okay, so Sabre here finally got, well, they're still going the wrong way, but as near as we're going to get, I suppose. And let's carry going through. So this is a third gen match, so that means a third generation, what we call third generation fighters only. So that's close threats, within visual range fighters only, basically. Essentially, I know the MiG-21 can do slightly out of visual range, but essentially that's what it is. Hence we're fighting floggers. With Fox 2s, right, here we go. And why don't we set this up? Okay, so it looks like our blue guys have got a visual fix on these guys now. We're moving in 5 miles, so no one's fired any missiles. So the Sidewinder can actually make that kind of distance, you know, at these relatively high speeds on a hot pursuit. But because these guys didn't really, you know, these aren't superiority fighters with intercept radars really, so they don't really know how far away this guy is, so hence they haven't taken the shot, and it probably will bite them in the backside. Also, it's very low, very hard in a third gen plane to look down below your nose. Oh, before I get shouted at, when I say third gen, fourth gen, second gen, it's not the official generations of planes that we use. We use our own definition of third gen, basically based on this simulator. So when I say third gen, don't take it too seriously. It's just a phrase that we use. Right. So basically, this dude's gone right underneath these guys, and the Blues haven't seen him because it's very hard to look down with visual range fighters. Now you see one guy's dead already, and that was complete bollocks. You see, he just died, got hit by a missile that didn't exist. That is what we call server lag. Basically, weird stuff happening that didn't exist. So feel sorry for Jaden. They didn't do anything wrong at all. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the server decided to lag at that particular area, and it happens. So just pointless worrying about it. Just carry on. Never mind. If I knew he had been shot down like that, he would have been allowed to respawn. No one else is allowed to respawn if they die. But if I knew that was happened, he could have started again. But there was no way to know it wasn't a missile, so that not worth worrying about. Okay, there's a new flogger coming in. Stand by. So this one is 6 miles, and Sherman's got him pinned. One thing to notice, there's nothing really being wrong done here, but if you're up high like this, it means chances are you're going to have to look down on a, well, they're not particularly high, they're only Angels 8, but chances are you're going to have to look down on a target. Looking down on a target in when you're a PVS visual range fight is very, very difficult. I like to go, when I'm in an F5 or a third gen fighter, I like to go right along the ground, which means that chances are you're going to be looking up at a hostile, so he's silhouetted against the sky, much easier to see, much more difficult to find them like this. So it's just a general comment there. So Sherman's going in, so he could easily kill him at this range, but because he doesn't really know how far the hostile is, it's still just a dot really. He doesn't know when to fire, and he's going to leave it too late, and he's going to get shot. They're down to 1 mile, way too late. Sidewinder could do kind of 5 miles on a head-on like that. So, I was saying when during the briefing, if you remember, I was saying fire long range. Don't let them get anywhere near you because they will kill you. So it's a mistake that they've made, and they need to learn from that. If they've got guys equipped with the same or superior missiles, you've got to get the long range shot off first to stand any chance. And so he's got his shot off. So Tender here needs to see that. That is a smoked missile, I think. So Tender can see that. He needs to barrel roll, flare, and engines down at this point, but just hasn't got, time, or just hasn't seen it coming quickly enough. Hostile is... Oh no, hostile dodge. See, look, hostile did it. Let's just check that out again. Sherman's missile should have hit there. That's within a mile. It's an easy kill. But this guy sees it, he flares, and he jinks. That's exactly what Tender needs to do. Flare, jink, engines down ideally, because it's looking for his heat signature. And look at that jink there, pow. Just enough on a head-on collision to mean that missile can't turn quick enough to get him. So it's a beautiful move from Mr. Hostile there. Tender's just straight into that, obviously, and is dead. And we have a merge. So this guy's gone off. He's gone off to hunt the MiG-21s who have been vectored in the wrong direction. So off they go. That's going to be trouble for the MiG-21s. So we've got a classic merge now. Hostile's going high, really high. Why is his speed so low? What am I looking at? For some reason that's registering the speed wrong today. It should be true speed, which is just under 300 knots, but instead it's coming out as bloody hell, what do you call it? Ground speed. So we can't take the speed seriously today. I don't know how to change it. If anyone watching knows how to change that, please tell me, because it's incredibly frustrating for us. Right, gonna try and watch both, I guess. This guy's got Sonic fully, so Sonic's gonna be a dead man from that. So Sonic and these guys should have been vectored onto course a long time ago, and they should have been charging into these reds. Instead, they're cocking about over here, and they're easy pickings for this guy. Didn't stand a chance, and that's gonna be Sonic dead, I guess. And it is. Didn't see it coming, so I think I say there. Great shot by Sherman. Look at that. Again, we don't know the hostile speed, but we can assume it's fairly slow because he's going straight up. Let's just have another look at that shot. See, this is more like a decent range shot that you can take. That's 1.7 miles on a cold target. It's 1.7 miles. That's still a kill shot. Still impossible for the target to get away. And yep, the target, although we couldn't see his speed, he was just all burned out of energy at that point and was essentially a sitting duck to Sherman's missile. Just a really nice skill, really. Sherman did a lovely tight loop, tight turn and a climb to get into him. The hostile was doing just really badly, basically. Going up in a missile fight is almost always going to end bad for you. You can do, if you're in a tight dogfight, you can do sorry, my brain's gone dead. Oh yeah, you can do a small kind of up a yo-yo to get a better position. That wasn't a yo-yo, that was just straight up and trying to escape going to the moon, and obviously he was always going to get shot. So great stuff there, but his AI is not a human. Now we move on to this guy. Going to speed this up. These guys obviously don't know he's here, so they're about to get pasted, and they are for an arrow. Wow, really bad shot from that hostile. Look how much misser. Okay, so what happened there is a hostile was shooting at this guy, but the missile accidentally went for an arrow. That's quite interesting. Let's just look at that again. So he's got a lovely shot on this guy here, and suddenly the missile decides to go for this guy, who must have a bigger heat signature, and that's cocked the missile up because it's made it do that big tight turn. So Stahl was very lucky there. Stahl still no idea what's going on. He's gone up, and he's shooting his guns at nothing. That's very weird of Stahl, and he rightfully gets shot. And he survived, so that's very lucky. And the hostile thinks Stahl is dead. You see that? He hasn't carried on the dogfight. He's decided, yep, Stahl's dead. I'm going to look for another target. And because the AI is a bit cheating, it just knows that these A10s are here. As human players, we had no idea that there was A10s there, and so he's going to go and intercept the A10s. But that's that's flying with against AI. That's how it is. So pretty shit there, to be honest. Completely disorganised. The MiG-21s were just left to die. The Sabre group here, they finally got their on track together, but they fired their missiles too late and they got shot down, and their tender's finally dead. So apart from Sherman saving the day at the end, that was all very bad flying. So let's carry on. This guy, you know what happens, you saw it in the video, he flies straight into these A10s, smashes one of them. easy pickings. A10s, you know, obviously not set up for this kind of thing. They do get a warning, but they've got no warning of that missile. They just know this guy's got his radar on. POW, that guy had never had a chance, unfortunately. This guy, luckily, is merging badly now. Is too fast. It's quite hard to merge with A10s in a fast jet. So he's going to do, I'm guessing he's going to go up and do his loop to try and get back round. I'm sure that's what he's going to do, to speed it up. Seth has got his, Seth's got on him. That's nice to see. So they've found him. And we've got a missile there from Riddle. Good old Riddle has found him and shot him down. He's still going. Again, hostile went up and got shot down because he went up. If he'd have kept down and just ran away, he would have been safe. But he's an AI, so I'm not going to tell him off because he's just ones and zeros. Hello, then gets the kill. Lovely, job done. Okay, we're going to skip loads of time now because we flap around a bit while we try and get our stuff back together and count the losses. So just to confirm, once you're shot down, you can't take off again. Once you're shot down, you're out. So that is a bunch of our fighters down. That's 3 planes down. Okay, off we go again. And we've got some new fighters now. So this is GCI's second go at working with us at this point, and so he knows what's going on now. So this time we should be vectored perfectly to these fighters, so hopefully we'll see that. So let's just thrush through that. I'm doing this wrong, hang on. Yep, and you can see Sabre get vectored directly to target this time. Remember, these guys, they do have a onboard radar, but it's not an intercept radar. Not many radar guided missiles or anything, so unfortunately these guys aren't doing very well. These guys should have been vectored directly on as well. Saying that, I told GCI actually during the mission not to do that, so I can't blame him. That's my fault. I told him to only send one group at a time, but in this case I decided they would need more fighters because everyone was dead, so then I changed my mind and told them to get these guys in as well. So that's why that's all going on. Lovely tactics from Red here. This guy is flanking out to the side, and look at the speed. No, sorry, that's the speed. Ignore the speed, ignore the speed. Speed doesn't work today. So Sherman's in. Set that up, shall we? Okay, playing through this in real time. Sherman's Angels 11, hostile Angels 8. So again, Sherman's above the target, making that very hard to see. It is possible to see, but it's just much harder to see. In this kind of fighter, much safer to be down low. Gives you, oh dear. Oh right, yeah. I was trying to work out why Sherman hadn't fired. It's because he's out of missiles. He used all his missiles out. So luckily for Sherman, this guy I think is going for King. King's done a great job. He's seen it coming. He's flared. He's manoeuvring. From memory, he's just unlucky. He gets shot down. Yeah, he didn't make that missile work enough. He did. When you do what I call kinking, which is a manoeuvre to beat a missile when it's essentially coming towards you or behind you, but usually towards you, it's all about timing. It's really hard to do. Now, if you jink too early, it has almost no effect on the missile. You have to jink at the right time, basically when the missile is just about to hit you, annoyingly, to actually force that missile into a position, a vector, when it can no longer hit you. So King here, great reaction, sees the missile. He's got a kink in there, and sorry, jink. I don't know why I said kink, jink. Not really very well today. Again, he's got his flares out. Great work. He's got chaff out as well. Doesn't need it, but it doesn't really matter. But he's done it too early, and it means this missile's only had to do a little bend, look, and it can do that. It can compute that. What it can't compute is really quick bends. And then he's leveled out. He thinks he's beaten the missile at that point, and he's leveled out. But in reality, the missile is absolutely fine. So really, he wants to be kinking now when that's kind of 2,000 feet away from him. That forces the angle of this missile to change so much that he won't be able to hit him anymore. So jinking is all about timing as well as actually doing the move. So if he'd done that jink there now, almost certainly would have beaten the missile. So that's why we do these briefings, so King can go away now, learn from that, and say, right, next time I'm being fired on, wait till the missile's at the right position, then do it. Lovely Merchant Sherman here. He's going to get straight behind this dude, which is great. This guy, the guy that's flanked out to the side, luckily is cocked up. He was going for King, but King died. Now these two are now running blind. They have forgot about Sherman because they're computer guys. They don't really understand things like this. Sherman is now going to obviously take them to pieces, because he is the Shermanator. Stahl and Fortinero in. Now, why haven't these guys fired? These Stahl and Fortinero have got, as far as I'm aware, Fox 1 missiles that they can fire about 10 miles away. So they should be pummeling Fox 1 missiles in there, so I'll have to find out why they weren't doing that, and that would have taken these guys down, or at least loosened them up and sent them defensive. So the way they're going to get themselves into trouble again. This guy's finally seen Sherman, and he's going defensive. we've got a missile out, so these guys are coming for a Fox 2. Lovely flanking shot from Fortinero there. Slightly worried about style still. Great shot there. Look at that, pow. So that's okay, that was some good work. Sherman's taking this one to town. Sherman has overshot, unfortunately, so he's going to do is, yep, perfect barrel roll around to scrub a bit of speed off, give him more travel distance, and comes up behind him. Absolutely perfect pro play there as ever. We've got this MiG-23 though, has seen Stahl, and Stahl's in a world of pain now. Stahl just kind of came in and didn't really get control of the situation, and he's put himself in danger now. He has dodged it though, so that shows how easily these R60s can be dodged if you're doing the right job. Oh, but he hasn't. No, it wasn't enough. He kind of levelled out and that just got hold of him. And Stahl's the second time he's been hit, but again, he's the luckiest German or Austrian in the world today. He's literally survived 2 hits, so that'll do. And Sherman, it's got him fully in his sights. He's got a plane that is, I think, slightly slower than a Flogger. Someone may correct me. But this Flogger is just not optimal at the moment. And that's down. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, they're getting their act together now a little bit better. Oh, look, and this guy runs away because he's damaged, and Fortinero sees him, which is lovely to see. Finally sees him, and obviously just takes him down easily. Right, and there was one more fight we need to go and have a look at. Stand by. So at this point we get through, try and go through the SAM net. Let me try and put that on. Ignore the C. I don't know why the C is there. It's just graphical glitch. So the SAM net are they're interlaced with each other, which is a bastard because there's no way around it. So our plan was to punch through there at the weakest point, and it worked obviously. So we've done some RTB. We've had an emergency base that we RTB to. Got some missiles and stuff. Vigans are coming in this time, so we've got Hammer, which are these 4 Vigans, and these guys are our escort going through, and we got Spiked and we got Nails, but we never got shot at. If you're going low enough, you're going fast enough, or you're going high enough, these guys decide they can't get a shot solution on us, and it's not worth firing a missile, and that's what happened. So it was just good enough. I reckon that was the only place we could have got through. Looking at this, probably could have got through it at kind of 30,000 feet as well up here, quite easily, but we didn't need to in the end. It just wasn't close enough. Anyway, so let's carry on with that. And we have, got a new engagement. More hostiles coming in. MiG-23s. Surprisingly hard to fight. I don't know if they're good fighters in real life, but in DCS I find them very hard to fight, especially with guns only. Anyway, so these guys, GCR's getting grips of the situation now. He gets these guys direct onto target, no arsing about, no spinning around. So we can have a nice aggressive fight here, which is great. And in we go. Now I don't know what's gone wrong with Fortinero. He's very slow. He's not posturing aggressively at all. So we'll have to find out why he was doing that. It might not have been his day for some reason. Sherman, however, is doing great. He's charging in. Again, he's up high, so it's going to be very hard to see these guys. But that's his choice. Angels 20 means he can get fast and get a slight increase in range on his missile. Although he never seems to use that with Fox 2, the range on the missile, so it's pointless. I would be down low, much safer. So let's set this up. 5 miles. Sherman's got very good eyes, so you can see. Look at now. This is much better fighting. He's got a missile out. He shot it straight. I don't know why he's done that. He should have aimed down first and shot it more aimed down, but I suppose it doesn't really matter this that much. He's got it out just over about 4.5 miles. That's completely fine in a head-on fight, and even if it doesn't kill him, which it probably won't, it'll send him defensive, and it's just going to give you the upper hand. So if they'd done this, had their act together and done this in the first fight, probably no one would have died. So it's just another thing to learn. And that missile is going. The missile's actually going after this guy. He's going after this guy, which was a bit ambitious then. And you can see he's struggling to get in front of him, but not much chance. Okay, never mind. Luckily, the MiGs just haven't really got hold of the situation. They haven't engaged anyone. Fortinero's going for this one as well. Fortinero's now going to be in trouble, and he is in trouble. Just didn't see this guy coming, and Fortinero's hit and survived. Lucky. A lot of blue luck to make this mission work. We've been hit 3 times and didn't die. Although we had bad luck as well, so I guess it cancels itself out. Sherman, great there. Did you see that? So let's just roll that back there. Sherman was fully fixed on killing this guy. That's who he was going for. But he sees his mate in trouble, changes his plan, and goes for this guy here. So they're probably talking to each other and saying, right, I'll take hostile number 2, you take hostile number 1. So that's great there. The beginners, I think, came into play a little bit, and Sherman's nailed that guy. Easy kill, right on his 6. Sure, that Fort Nero, I don't know if that's going to hit or not. It's pretty crap, those R60s, to be honest, and it's not. And another one that's a better shot, takes a lead shot, and that's probably going to hit, and it has. That guy just didn't see it coming, didn't do anything about it, just completely fine, and he's toast. So, Roy's not actually dead. I imagine Fort Nero probably thinks he's dead because he's probably covered in smoke. I think he just flies away now. Yeah, Fort Nero just flies away. And that's fine, you know, the plane doesn't have to be dead. As long as it's out of action, like it is, that's as good as, you know, in some ways that's even better than dead. It ties a plane up, ties a runway up. And that was it, really. We then went and attacked this SA-6 site. You can see Shifty came in here. He used his BK-90 cruise missile very well. It means he didn't, although, well, the idea with using the cruise missile was it didn't have to get close to it, but in the end he just went straight up to it anyway, so that's fine. Now, I don't like these BK-90s, I don't want to use them because they're not modelled accurately at the moment, but the guys want to use them, so fair enough, and that's going to go in, and that knocks out those SA-6s, does the job, and then basically everyone else is free to come in and then destroy the tanks. So, great example of a mission that went well. It had some ugly points, which was annoying, but that's fine. We got through the SAMNet okay, luckily. There was never any major threat, as it turns out, from the SAMNet because of the location of it. A-10s did beautiful work all the way through. A-10s did everything absolutely perfectly. Zero criticism of them. They were used properly as close air support once they finally got, or it was deep airstrike, but close air support once they got, you know, to the target. So lovely job. Let's see what the next mission brings. Thank you.